Hi, and welcome to Student Spotlight. I'm your host, Morgan Dougherty, and our guest today is a very busy high school senior, Asia Blocker. Asia is Senior Class President of the Baldwin School Student Council, the founder and co-head of the Student Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Program, co-head of the Baldwin School's Black Student Union, and is part of the Baldwin's Building Bridges program, a program dedicated to planning a day to recognize diversity and inclusion within the school. And oh wait, there's more. Asia is involved in her school's Admission Ambassadors program, Lamplighters. She is captain of the dance team and plays volleyball. So thank you so much for being here with us today, Asia. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good, good. So I just wanted to congratulate you on all of your success so far.
Thank you.
And I wanted to just ask how you find time for all of these activities while you're also a high school student.
Well, I guess it kind of forms itself. I start, of course, with like my academics. They come before everything. And then I just kind of add on from there, like whatever I'm inspired by. There's so many different clubs and sports at my school, so whatever I can make time for, I try to carve out a special time for it. And yeah, my day's pretty full, jam-packed with a bunch of different things, but I like doing a lot of different things. So that's what gets me motivated and up and ready to go every day.
Definitely. And you're the founder of the Student Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Program. So tell me about how you started this program and why it was important to you.
Yeah, so my friend and I, Ariana, shout out to Ariana, we noticed that there was a disconnect in all of our affinity clubs, which is like Black Student Union, Asian Student Association, Hispanic Student Association, and there's others. But we noticed a disconnect, and it was kind of strange because we were all minority students at a predominantly white institution, and so we went through a lot of the same things just through a different lens. So we really wanted to find a way to bring us all together so that we can support each other. Even though we may come from different backgrounds, we still know what it's like being a minority, and so that's what inspired the Student Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee, basically to help share our experiences to other people in the Baldwin community.
Wow, that's amazing. So tell me about it. What kind of things do you and your friends do in this program?
So like I said, it's made out of all the 5 affinity clubs, and one of our biggest things are hosting brown bag lunches, which are basically like town halls or conversations revolving around different current events. So our first one that we had this year, I guess would count as our first one, was about Black Lives Matter in the summer. We actually had it at the end of last year, so I guess it was last year, but we hosted that with BSU, like on BSU head, so I kind of helped facilitate that, and that kind of started it. And then more recently, we had a brown bag lunch about modern day white supremacy, inspired by the January 6th event at the Capitol. So we had a conversation about that, and then more recently, we had a conversation about Asian American hate crimes. So yeah, brown bag lunches is what forms it, mostly because it's a time where everyone's invited to give their opinion or ask questions and listen.
Wow, and what kind of feedback are you getting from your peers during these brown bag lunches? Are people really involved and excited to have these conversations?
Yeah, it actually surprises me because we are in high school, so you would think that people, don't pay attention to like serious things, but people are actually really engaged in these conversations, and we try to ask like really good discussion questions, make it personal, so that it's not hard to answer in a way. It's something comfortable, everyone's comfortable talking with. So yeah, there's a lot of student engagement and a lot of teacher engagement as well. It's not a requirement to come, but we usually have about 50 people each time.
So do you feel that this club is making a difference within your school?
I truly do, because we usually don't have time for these conversations in the classroom because we're really a heavily academic school. So it's nice to see people take their own lunchtime, and even through Zoom, because we can't be all together, people come and listen because they're really interested in hearing what their peers have to say.
That's amazing. And you're a senior, so you're going to be leaving the coop soon.
Yep.
Will this club continue as you go on to college?
Yeah, we're working on making that transition right now. We just selected our 4 heads for SDEI next year because we want it to last forever, just be as permanent as the Senate or Athletic Association or Arts League. So we're really excited for that.
Yeah, good for you. You're leaving a legacy at your school. That's amazing. Wow. Tell me about the Building Bridges program. That's a little bit of a different element of this program.
Yeah, so Building Bridges is basically in charge of planning Building Bridges Day, which is like a diversity conference, but just for the upper school or high school in my school. And it's revolved around diversity, equity, inclusion. So a lot of the same agendas as SDEI, which is why we work so closely together. But yeah, we're in charge of planning the day, full of like workshops, finding a guest speaker, adding all the details in the workshops, just the whole thing. And it's for the upper school to experience. We just had it in April, and the theme was activism. So we talked about activism. We had a great guest speaker, and we did a lot of workshops revolving that.
Wow, okay. So in addition to the Student Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion program, you're also co-head of the Baldwin School Black Student Union. So what have you learned from your leadership position in that program?
I've learned, that's a big question. I learned a lot because I was in Black Student Union since middle school, and I became the head in 10th grade, and just been junior, senior head. But definitely, it just taught me to listen to my Black peers, my fellow sisters. Shout out to the Black Student Union. It just helped me like listen to them and ask for advice. Even like my younger peers give me advice, give advice to the younger peers and vice versa. It's just taught me to appreciate the community that we have, because we are in a school where not everyone looks like us, but we should be grateful for this community that we've created to come together and celebrate being us.
Yeah, definitely. That was actually one of my questions. What's one piece of advice that you would give to a high school student? And that's not certainly in your position, because you have had a different high school experience and all your positions of leadership.
Yeah.
But what's some advice you would give to some younger students?
Find what you like and just go from there. Just try different things. Stick with what you like. Drop what you don't. Make time for what you do like, and you'll find your way. You don't have to do everything that I'm doing, like you said, but there's something for everybody. Even if your school doesn't offer it, you can create it.
So it seems important for you to find what you're passionate about. That seems to be what drives you.
Yes,
right?
Definitely.
So you, like I said, you're in a lot of positions of leadership for a 17-year-old girl. What have you learned from all these positions of leadership? What have you taken from that and that you're going to take on to college?
I said, like, listening to your peers, definitely not being afraid to be different, I would say, especially this year with COVID-19. I've had to find creative ways to continue to do everything. So don't be afraid to be different. Sometimes it sticks, sometimes it doesn't, but you never know. So try different things. Even as a leader, there's like a blueprint to doing everything, but that's the great thing about being a leader. You can make your own blueprint and follow it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point. So during this year, during COVID-19, I know you've had to lead these groups from a virtual standpoint. So what was that like? What were some of the creative ways that you led these programs? Yeah,
so there are a lot of Zoom. A lot of Zoom. You already know that. A lot of emails, personal FaceTime sometimes to just my peers, checking in on them. What else? Let's see. Instagram, social media. I run the Black Student Union Instagram, so that was my one way of making sure that I contributed a lot. Advertising us on our Instagram, even though I couldn't physically be there, but I still was in the Zoom meetings and everything. So it was definitely difficult, and also communicating with the other co-heads, because I'm not leading these clubs by myself. I had a lot of great support systems and teachers and mentors that would help me, that were in person, so that we could accomplish a lot of these things that we did this year.
Mm-hmm. And as this year winds down, I'm sure you had a lot of college applications that you were sending out. What was that experience like for you?
It's stressful. I don't think anyone likes the college application process, but I'm glad that it's over. It was just a lot of writing.
Yeah, and you are also the class president. What drove you to run to be class president?
Yeah, I love my class of 2021. I think they're so funny, creative, and just bold, and just all around rock stars, really. So I just wanted to be their guidance in this year, this unprecedented year, as people say all the time. But yeah, I wanted to be there for them, even though if I couldn't physically be there for them, I still wanted them to know that they had a friend in someone in power, and that not power, but in a position of leadership that they could rely on to be an advocate for them. Like I spoke up for a lot of the virtual students when they weren't here, trying to figure out ways that we can be involved in the in-person activities. But yeah, it was a struggle, but we made it through.
What were some things that you focused on in your campaign?
Definitely class morale, because like I said, my class is really bold and bright, so we're all about having fun and making the most out of any situation. So that definitely leaving our legacy, like I said, creating the SDEI was my kind of way of leaving my legacy, and I wanted to make sure everyone felt that they had a place here or had a role in the Baldwin community, because I believe we all do. It's a small 65, 63 student class, but
wow,
yeah.
That is small. Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
But we all have our place and our responsibilities,
Yeah.
and I know that they can do it.
That's so important, and it's so great that you've taken that responsibility to create a place for everybody in the school. So tell me, when you're not doing all of these things, really quick as we wrap up, what are some things you like to do for fun?
I love watching movies. I love painting and drawing. Watching plays and musicals too. Hang out with family, friends, before COVID, of course. But yeah.
So as the captain of the dance team, were you able to have any type of events this year?
Well, we were able to teach our team a dance, and we're in the process of putting the video together to show the entire school. So yeah, we were still able to have practices and put together one final performance for everyone. It wasn't the same as it usually is. I love the dance season, but we put together something special, and it'll be nice. It'll be nice.
Good, amazing. Well, I just want to thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank
Honestly,
you.
it was great to talk to you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on all of your success and the legacy that you're leaving at the Baldwin School. They're lucky to have you as a student there.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Student Spotlight today. Please tune in to our next episode. And we only have the best and the brightest of the main line of the students that we talk to here. So tune in next time, and thank you so much.